So this past week was a pretty wild week for the Cleveland Browns with all the Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham stuff going down. Of course, with it ending with Odell Beckham being released by the Cleveland Browns, and now we're waiting to see, which team is going to potentially come in here and pick up Odell Beckham Jr., which will definitely be exciting to see. But I just want to talk about how good Baker Mayfield looked in this game for the Cleveland Browns. Of course, right after Odell, ends up leaving his team last week. His dad posts some videos of, him being open, Baker not throwing him the ball. LeBron is like free OBJ. And so that leads to some obvious issues between the Browns and Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham ends up being released by the Cleveland Browns. And so, for whatever reason, in the entire time that Odell Beckham has been here in Cleveland, him and Baker Mayfield, for whatever reason, just can't seem to get on the right page. When we take a look at Baker Mayfield's stats in the past with Odell Beckham versus without Odell Beckham, for some reason, Baker Mayfield is much better without Odell on the field. Here from The Athletic, they say Mayfield completes about 67% of his passes and has a quarterback rating of over 100 without Beckham. In the 29 games with Beckham, he completed around 62% of his passes, and his rating was 83.9. And in this past game, in his first game with Odell Beckham no longer being on this Cleveland Browns team, we saw him come in here and, keep that statistic going, being more successful when Odell Beckham is not on the field. In this game, he had his best passer rating of the entire season, 132.6 passer rating. In this game, he throws for 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and the Browns beat the Bengals, who I think have a pretty solid team over there with Joe Burrow, 41-16, with this Browns team now sitting at 5-4, and I'd say they're still in the hunt in the AFC North. So, just a few days after Odell Beckham leaves, and there's tons of controversy, tons of drama going on there in Cleveland, Baker Mayfield and his Browns team are able to come in and put up a solid game against, I'd say, pretty solid, pretty good, Cincinnati Bengals team. And I think, for Baker Mayfield to come in here and respond that way after having to deal with a, crazy week, he came in and said that he was surprised, to what happened with Odell Beckham Jr. He didn't see it coming. And so the fact that he was able to respond in that way, I think, shows that he still has a potential to be a good quarterback. Before this game, I think he was ranked as the 26th best quarterback when you take a look solely at QBR. So not very good so far this season. But if this game versus the Bengals is going to foreshadow anything else for the rest of the season for Baker Mayfield, I think the Browns definitely have some hope finally. And is it really as simple, as, just getting rid of Odell Beckham Jr., a talented wide receiver? It just doesn't make sense, honestly, why the Browns are better without Odell Beckham on the field. I guess, it seems that Baker always felt pressured to, force the ball to him. Stefanski even talked about in his press conference in the past couple of weeks, we always try to, find things to get Odell Beckham the ball. So it just seems, whatever reason, naturally, Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr., for whatever reason, just never had the best chemistry, never were really on the right page, and so it seemed to mess with Baker Mayfield when he played. He basically had to, if he wanted to get the ball to Odell Beckham Jr., he had to force it in there, and he wasn't really going through his reads and his progressions as maybe he should, and I think that led to worse play with Odell Beckham on the field. And so in this game, without Odell Beckham Jr., being able to not have to, get the ball to him, because if you don't get the ball to Odell, clearly some things go down in the media as to, why are you not getting, this top wide receiver in Odell Beckham Jr. the ball. In this game, he throws to 8 different receivers, and only one guy had 3 catches in this game. So he was spreading the ball around. He was spreading it all around the field. He was great when it came to the deep ball. He went 4 for 5 on passes of 20 yards or more. And on those passes, had 130 yards and 1 touchdown with that one, huge long touchdown bomb to Donovan Peoples-Jones. So I think for the Browns now, whatever reason, they're better without Odell Beckham Jr. And so now I guess the question for Baker Mayfield and this Browns team is, can they keep this up? Can they continue to play at a high level, with Baker Mayfield? Because I think that he showed in this game that he has that ability. And honestly, you don't have to really rely solely on Baker Mayfield's ability. Clearly, I think the Browns' biggest strength is their running game. In this game, we saw Nick Chubb just completely ball out. If I find his stats right here, he ran the ball 14 times for 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a 70-yard run, and averaged 9.8 yards per carry, and the Browns still aren't with Kareem Hunt. So when he comes back, it makes this offense, I think, that much more dangerous. So they're a team that, really does rely on the run, and if you have Baker Mayfield coming in there, not making big mistakes, being able to, complete the ball, make good decisions, I think this Browns team definitely has a chance. And then you add their defense playing as well as they did versus Joe Burrow in that offense. This Browns team, I think, has a chance to be a great team. We came in early in the season, I think, at least me personally, thinking that the Browns were, one of the top teams in the NFL just because of the people they added on defense and just how good they are in offense as well. But so far this season, they haven't showed that. But maybe now, with Odell Beckham gone, with Baker Mayfield, seemingly feeling more comfortable there in the offense without having to force Odell Beckham the ball, maybe the Browns have a shot to do something special later this season. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on it, see what happens with Baker Mayfield. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, drop a like if you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, Luke_Beller is my Twitter. But thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.